Do you like making money? Do you want to make more money? Well, here are the best bets in the Big 12. This is Locked On Big 12.
You are Locked On Big 12, your daily podcast on the Big 12 Conference. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Happy Thursday, everybody. Welcome into Locked On Big 12. I'm Drake Toll from America's #1 Big 12 podcast, Locked On Big 12. Thank you for making this show your first listen every single day. On today's show, I got my money on my mind and my mind on the money. I think that's how the song goes. And I'm going to give you the best bets in the Big 12 so that you and I can make some cash together. Hint, cliffhanger. One of the sites I'm using has BYU winning outright this week, and I'm pulling from both OddsShark and collegefootballinsiders.com in this week's Big 12 best bets. Let's get into it. If you hit subscribe, I get to keep my job. Best bet number one, TCU -2.5 on the road against SMU. I love the Frogs in this spot. And maybe it's less I love the Frogs as it is I really don't like SMU, especially the offensive output they gave against BYU. But TCU has given me no real reason to doubt them. I guess you could say, oh, look at the second half collapse. And, you know, you've always talked about Kendall Briles not running the football. Sure, but I'm not worried about TCU. I still think they're a very good football team. And they have a 63%, make it 64% chance of victory per College Football Insiders. And the big stat that I point to that has made TCU so good, they're 6th in the nation on 3rd and 4th down success. That's really good. They successfully complete 3rd and 4th down at a 60% clip. That is very, very good. And Josh Hoover is a walking 400 piece every time he steps on the field. SMU defense is not bad. TCU's defense, not bad. The offense of TCU is exponentially better than SMU's offense. And for that reason, I'm giving the Frogs the nod -2.5 this week on the road in a rivalry game that will have nobody in the stands. Oklahoma State +2 against Utah. Lock it in. Oh, but Utah's the best team in the conference. Utah's good. No doubt. Utah's good. But I don't trust Cam Rising right now. Do you? I don't trust Cam Rising because I haven't seen enough of Cam Rising in 2024. I've seen him in 2022 and he was very good. But this year, can I trust him right now? No. Can I trust Oklahoma State? Yeah, I think so. I did last week. I did against Arkansas, and they won the game. They've done what they needed to do to win. Utah has too, but they haven't faced an opponent of this caliber. They go on the road to open up Big 12 play. And while they're favored by 2, Utah that is, Oklahoma State per College Football Insiders has a 60% chance of victory, and they're favored by 3 to win it by a field goal. So, of course, I would take +2 in this game for Oklahoma State. Buy it to +3 if you want to be extra safe. I want the Cowboys. I think they topple the Utes this week at home. Again, there's something about Boone Pickens Stadium, something about this being Utah's first Big 12 game, and it's on the road. And Oklahoma State has been very good offensively. More balanced offensively, at least, than I expected. That's going to go a long way in what might end up being a low-scoring game against Utah. Give me Oklahoma State +2. Even if Utah wins by 1, we still win. Cincinnati, Houston, 3.5 points. The Bearcats are favored, and I want Cincinnati in this game. I think at home, Cincy can get it done with Corey Kiner, Brennan Sorsby. If you ask OddsShark, they would tell you Houston's going to win this game 30-14. That would typically give me a whole lot of faith in Houston, but I don't have a whole lot of faith in Houston. And Cincinnati just got a much more quality win than Houston did by beating maybe the best MAC team on the road in Miami of Ohio. For that, I like Cincinnati. They took Pitt down to the wire. Certainly should have beaten Pitt last week. I'm going to take, against the odds, I'm going to take Cincinnati because I have that gut feeling. This is one where I tell you, oh, I'm going to go Bearcats despite every metric I've looked at saying that Houston will win this game because Cincinnati is at home. And I thought preseason on paper, they were the better team. If you asked Pick 6 Previews, who I used all preseason long, they would tell you in Big 12 play, Cincinnati is 4 spots better than Houston. They would also tell you that BYU might be the worst team in the conference. So what do we know? I am also taking Kansas -2.5 at West Virginia. Hold on. This game's in Morgantown. Well, the analytics at oddshark.com have Kansas winning this game 38-27. going on the road 38-27. Our friends at College Football Insiders, they have Kansas winning this game by a final score of 30-26. That is a 4-point victory. They give Kansas a 62% chance to win this game. They believe that West Virginia is reeling more than the Jayhawks. And after the way the last week played out for both these teams, this being a coin flip, I don't hate it. I'm going to ride with the analytics in this matchup because both teams are not in a very good spot. Both teams are pretty darn bad right now. And for that reason, I'm going to err with the computer, give it to the Jayhawks, who, if they could just kind of put it together offensively, will be okay, especially against a West Virginia defense that was suspect against Penn State, suspect again last week against Pitt, especially when it mattered most. I'm going with the Jayhawks on the road. Kansas is an underdog. So if they lose by 2, we still win at plus 2.5. Then BYU against Kansas State. Give me the Cougars plus 7. I have been hurt before. I was hurt last year. I've seen it. I've seen the song and dance of, BYU does well in the non-con. Will they be able to win in the regular season? And the answer being no. But this time, I'm siding with the Cougars. And I'm not the only one siding with the Cougars. OddsShark has BYU winning this game outright. They have a 9-point swing. Kansas State's favored by 7. They have BYU winning this game 28-26, which feels reasonable. Maybe take the BYU team over. Feels reasonable. Yeah, 28-26, either way, yeah, it's definitely how this game could play out. And if BYU loses 28-24, they cover 7. I trust the Cougars to cover 7. I also like the over 48 a lot here. BYU is my best bets this week. It is TCU at SMU minus 2.5. Oklahoma State plus 2 at home against Utah. Houston and Cincinnati. Give me the Bearcats minus 3.5 at home. Kansas at West Virginia plus 2.5. BYU hosting Kansas State. Give me the Cougars plus 7 at night against the Wildcats in a game that starts at like 9:30 Central Time. Those are the Locked On Big 12s. Beat the book. Best bets this week. And that segment is always brought to you by FanDuel. FanDuel is a longtime sponsor of the Locked On Podcast Network, and they're always giving you new deals, and they're always giving you those lines right there at their sportsbook. You've heard us talk a lot about FanDuel, but we're doing something different for you now through September 22nd. All FanDuel customers can bet $5 and get a 3-week free trial of NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Then with the YouTube TV base plan, you'll be able to watch every regular season Sunday afternoon out-of-market game. All you need is a Google account, a current form of payment, and you can cancel anytime. Visit FanDuel.com to download America's #1 sportsbook. That is FanDuel.com to download America's #1 sportsbook and take the Locked On Big 12 best bets today. That's it. Hey, best of luck to you. Let's go win some money together. What do you say? Handshake. You and me. We're going to do it this week. Last week, we were 2-3. This week, we flip it around. We reverse it. We win. I'm somehow taking Kansas again for the 3rd week in a row. And where has that gotten me so far? Not good, Bob. Not good. This week, we're going to be okay. Coming up tomorrow, let's pick all these games, baby. Let's do a complete breakdown across the league. And the closer we get, the more I'm liking BYU. This is Locked On Big 12, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team. Wait, what? That's not how I close the show. This has been and always will be Locked On. Thanks for making it your first listen every single day. Dose grande.